सबको मेरा प्रणाम। मैं ओम प्रकाश इस फर्स्ट सेशन में नायना के प्रति जो ये ट्रिब्यूट का कार्यक्रम है उसको मॉडरेट कर रहा हूँ। इस नायना का जो बड़ा सा सामाजिक परिवार है उसके सारे सदस्यों के साथ आज हम जुड़े हैं। और सर्वप्रथम मैं शोभना दी से अनुरोध करना चाहूँगा कि वो अपनी बात रखें। शोभना दी।
OP, please be multilingual.
Okay, Kalananji sir. So, in this tribute to Naina program, we are in the program of tribute to Naina today. And although he is not physically with us, but always he is with us as a moral support and always giving us guidance. So, I'm welcoming you all in this program of the sociological family of Naina. And first of all, I'm requesting Shobna Di to say a few words and start the program.
Namaskar. Let me apologize for my bad throat. So I wanted to be the last speaker. If you can hear me, I would like to convey my greetings to all of you. And I welcome you all, Naina's extended family members, to this tribute to launch the centenary celebrations of Radhakrishna ji. Though we had begun in 2019 with certain things and we all came together periodically, it's a very wonderful collective effort of the Radhakrishna collective and all of us who have volunteered here and all of us who are present here kindly accept my grateful thanks. And with this, OP, I would like you to take over because I'm unable to speak.
Okay, thank you, Dee. May I request Rambabu Garu to share his feelings and views on this program. Rambabu Garu, you can unmute your mic.
Okay.
It's your.
Namaskaram to all our GPC family members. First of all, it's a long time since we all at least met, though not physically, through this video conference. In fact, it's 28 years now. Radhakrishna has left us physically, but we all remember him on our day-to-day life as far as work is concerned, and also at our personal level. He had such an influence on all of us. He has treated everyone with love and affection, all alike. That's my impression about Radhakrishna. He has influenced all of us, along with me, all of us so much. And we have the same expression, though the terminology may differ. I think we all have the same expression when it comes to remembering Radhakrishna. My first interaction was in the year 1979 when I was working with PCT. In the last quarter of PCT, he visited once. And the first word that he said to me after 2 days of interaction with all our colleagues was that, Rambabu, do you want to work with me? So that those three words, they had such a great influence on me. And the moment he said it, I think it took 1 year for us to interact through communication, postal communication. And after 1 year, he has taken me into the GPC family. And it has changed my life, in fact, for that matter. And he has treated all Gandhians, professionals, and received with the same affection and love. And he has treated everybody because he knew that diverse people from diverse background, when they come into the fold of this Gandhian family, they would transform. That was his belief, strong belief. That was very impressive when it comes to Radhakrishna ji. And he has influenced and he believed more in individuals rather than institutions. Though he has created institutions, but he believed more in an individual spirit rather than in institutions. So he said institutions, sometimes he used to say, institutions may lead to dilution of initiator's vision. These are the words that he has used. So I think the horizontal growth is required when it comes to upscaling your thoughts rather than vertical growth. So he never believed in vertical growth. He has been always telling us that it should be a horizontal growth. And he wanted us to remain small. He has, in fact, when he was interacting with me, he used to say, be small, do something more qualitative rather than being a big institution doing so much of work. That was very impressive and which has influenced me. And at one point of time, I had reduced the scale of operations in my the local institution GVS, and I had an opportunity to work with Gandhi Peace Center directly for more than 8 years, and it was very surprising because I was a kid. In fact, when it comes to the ideology and actions, I was a fresh professional from the university, but I don't know why he has given me such a support. So he has taken me into the GPC family, first as a coordinator, then assistant secretary, joint secretary, general secretary. And finally, he told me one day, Rambabu, the designations are not important because you can be a secretary general or general secretary. But if you remain humble in your work, in your thoughts, I think that is going to really help you rather than the designations. So that was really... So these are the thoughts that come to my mind whenever I remember Radhakrishna ji, and it happens every day, in fact, for all of us, as somebody was saying. So and he never believed in size, scale through institutions, but by horizontal growth. So these are all the things that we remember, and though the institutions are not, well, let us say, institutions may have disappeared in some cases, but the spirit of Radhakrishna ji and his ideas are still intact, and his love and affection is the one thing that has made all of us to remember him. In fact, so that is the sharing of love and affection. So human touch, humane touch is the one thing that all of us remember in him, which is really, I have seen only one individual of that sort in my lifetime, in my case. So these, and I realize now today, such sharing a love and affection will transform any individual in his lifetime, in his life. So this is definitely his ideas and love and affection remain with us for generations. And definitely the spirit of Radhakrishna ji in terms of helping the downtrodden and the Gandhian ideas, whatever he said practically. In fact, so he has really adapted to the changing situations, whatever thoughts that he had, and carried over to the next generation and even future generation also through all of us. I think it should be taken for the future generations. And this is what I have. I think so there are so many friends to share. Definitely, I'm so happy in the sense to be part of this initiative to celebrate Radhakrishna's centenary. And definitely, we should evolve some simple but concrete action to really take forward his ideas to help the downtrodden and also to influence the youth, the present as well as future youth, to really look forward to do something in the direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Rambabu Garu. And as you have very rightly mentioned, वो हमें कभी भी संस्था में ज्यादा विश्वास नहीं किया, किसी पद को उन्होंने महत्वपूर्ण नहीं कहा, वो हमेशा व्यक्ति में विश्वास करते थे और व्यक्तियों को ही उन्होंने सम्मान दिया, व्यक्तियों को ही उन्होंने आगे बढ़ाया, जिसका नतीजा है कि उनका जितना बड़ा सामाजिक परिवार है और अपने इस परिवार के ही अगले मैं बड़े भाई आदित्य भाई को मैं अनुरोध करना चाहूंगा कि वो अपनी बात रखें। आदित्य भाई, अगर आप मेरी बात सुन रहे हो, आदित्य भाई, I'm requesting you to.
Aditya Bhai has not joined. He may join in few minutes time.
Then can I ask Prashad Garu next to speak, because I have seen him, he had already joined. Prashad Garu.
Yes, OP. Yes, OP. Thank you very much. आज इतना आनंद मिल रहा है because not just because of Naina's event, but meeting all of you and ये जो development work में हम सब लोग जुड़े हैं, ये जो development work का relationship कुछ अलग होता है, projects, funding, kind of things like that. लेकिन हमारा जो है, this is really like a परिवार, real family, real brotherhood. आपस में जो भाईचारा है, in fact it is a deep relationship. Maybe that has to be rekindled, and the effort of Kalanand Mani is really great. It is very touching, and Kalanand, OP, Rambabu, Chandanda, our Aditya, I think all of us have to build it further. And today is internationally observed as Father's Day. So remembering Naina on this day for all of us is most appropriate. And our memories, and each one have very fond memories of Naina, and he made us feel that he is the closest to each one of us. I think Naina is the closest to me. Gopi thinks Naina is the closest to him. Ramba would think otherwise. So the kind of the happiness he has given, the kind of confidence he has given is something enormous. Then his vision to have about 100 young people all over the country engaged in Gandhian model of development work. That is something which we have to understand. Because at the time when development was going more in terms of without any value foundations or a philosophical foundation, he is the one who raised the issue that development has to be with a philosophical foundation. Without that, it will be meaningless. So the concept of Gandhian concept of Gram Swaraj, self-reliant villages, the absolute clarity, the environmental sustenance, keeping people at the center stage of development, life-based development, protecting the nature. So these are all the various things, decentralized economy, non-violent economy. These are the ideas he has put very firmly into our mind. And he made Sevagram our hub. All of us are coming to Sevagram, having so many meetings regularly, and that's where is our indoctrination, it is our training ground, and that is how we learned a lot of things from Sevagram. So there are the two wheels of development. One is the philosophical inputs. The other one is, of course, the development orientation.
I think Prashad Garu, your mic has been mute, so we couldn't hear you. Yeah, now it's
So
open.
doing the package program 10 was a very, very significant experience for me in life, meeting about 17 different organizations, getting their work, consolidating that, and I was so exhausted in the entire work. Then in 1994, I could get the entire thing bound with a spiral binding and go to the airport in Hyderabad. It was Begumpet at the time. Naina was going to Delhi at the time from Hyderabad. I put that document in his hands and touched his feet, and I had not a single word coming out of my mouth, and tears were rolling down so that I could do some work entrusted to me. He went to Delhi and he distributed sweets that yes, Prasad has done this work. And after that, there were no words from him, and he was admitted in the hospital. He was in coma. He was passed away. It was such a disturbing thing for us. Then one very interesting thing I have seen is that Naina's speeches so wonderful, so authoritative, so informative, so philosophical, and he is a nation builder. In fact, he was the chief architect of the Janata government and the formation of the Janata Party, protecting the democracy in the country. And when he was doing this kind of meetings, we have learned a lot of things. And at times he takes a nap in the meetings. I think all of you must have observed. He takes a nap and we think he is sleeping deeply and not observing. But when his turn comes to talk, he would narrate every word every speaker said. So he was a wonderful, that kind of, I don't know how he was able to control his mind. So I tried to emulate him. Naturally, we try to imitate others. So I learned only to sleep in the meetings, but not to remember what other friends have spoken. So it's a great, great feeling. And how do we take forward the vision of Naina to have 100 people around the country engaged in a meaningful, philosophical-oriented, philosophical, foundation-oriented development work? And all of us have now have matured or have a lot of experience behind us. So how do we take it forward? I'm sure Kalyanand will take that lead initiative along with all others, and I'll be very happy to be part of this effort. Thank you very much, OP, for giving me this opportunity. Namaskar.
Thank you, Prashad Garu. As you rightly said, जैसा कि आपने बहुत ही अच्छा कहा कि किसी भी काम को अगर करने का तरीका सीखना था और जो उनके सुनने की और किसी भी चीज को समझने की, भले ही कई बार तो मजाक में होता था कि ओपी तुम एनवायरनमेंट पे बोलो, कहीं और बोलोगे, मैं यहाँ बता सकता हूँ कि तुमने क्या बोला होगा। तो ये जो उनकी क्षमता थी लोगों की पहचानने की, लोगों की एबिलिटी को जानने की, वो सचमुच अद्भुत थी। अगले स्पीकर के रूप में as next speaker I am inviting Srinivas Garu. Srinivas ji, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes, Srinivas, please.
Yeah, I am Srinivas Chekuri. Good evening to you all. I am very happy to meet all the farmers colleagues here on this Father's Day. I wish to pay rich tributes to Radhakrishna ji on this occasion of Centenary celebrations. I am very fortunate to have associated with two great institutions founded by Radhakrishna ji, that is Gandhi Peace Center and AGS, Academy of Gandhian Studies. As Prasad Garu told, Radhakrishna ji's dream was to train 100 youth to take up village reconstruction or Gram Swaraj work. I did a diploma course from Sevagram Ashram, Institute of Gandhian Studies for 1 year. After that, I was sent to Banwasi Seva Ashram. I was proud to be a member of first batch of 30 youth who were trained on Gandhi mission at Banwasi Seva Ashram under Prembhai ji and Justice P.N. Bhagwati ji. I was there for 6 months undergoing training program, which Radhakrishna ji has sent me to get training there. After I came back, I joined with AGS, and Radhakrishna ji has assigned me to starting the Gandhi mission centers in villages in Andhra Pradesh. I toured across all the districts and identified potential youth and trained them to establish Gandhi mission center to promote propagate the ideas of Gandhian philosophy. So he dreamt of training 100 youth. In the first batch, he has completed training 30 youth. After that, there are so many sad things have happened. We could not continue that program. But his inspiration has instilled a lot of confidence in us, and I am continuing his work. I am right now founded Gramadaya Trust in 2015 in Andhra Pradesh. We are working with farmers through farmer producer organization. So whatever Radhakrishna ji is dreamt and thought us to involve in Gram Swaraj work, we are carrying forward. So the practice is being done by all the young people who are trained there. So on this occasion of his centenary celebrations, I am proud to pay rich tributes to Radhakrishna ji. I would like to thank all of you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Srinivas, I got opportunity to work with Srinivas even and attend courses even with Srinivas in Bangalore. So he is a painstaking student of Naina, and आपने हमेशा उनके कामों को आगे बढ़ाया है. जहाँ तक मेरी जानकारी है, सुधाकर जी has not yet joined. So can I request then Gopi Garu to share his views? गोपी भाई को आमंत्रित करने के पहले हमेशा कहूंगा कि हम दोनों का नाम लास्ट जो आया था उसमें शायद हम दोनों सेवाग्राम में ही सेटल होते, क्योंकि उन्होंने कहा था कि ओपी और गोपी अब प्रशिक्षण का सारा कार्य संभालेंगे. तो अपने अपने क्षेत्र में हम दोनों कर रहे हैं. वी आर डूइंग आवर पार्ट एट आवर प्लेसेस बट नॉट फ्रॉम सेवाग्राम. सो आई एम रिक्वेस्टिंग माय ब्रदर एंड फ्रेंड गोपी गारू फॉर हिज व्यूज ऑन दिस.
Thank you, OP, and thank you for, I hope I'm audible. Am I? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, OP, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Shobhanadi, and then all other friends over here. And my association with Radhakrishna ji dates back to my childhood. Right since my childhood, I've seen him and I've been inspired by people like Prabhakar ji and Radhakrishna ji right since my childhood. And coming home and then also seeing him from a very close quarter and listening to him has inspired me and paved my career and paved my future as such. I remember I have great memories of Radhakrishna ji in different occasion situations. In fact, there was a mention about by Prasad about his awakeness even during sleep. It is interesting, very interesting. I had an occasion to talk to, and then which he had smiled it away. But then later I realized that it is a fact that his consciousness is never asleep. He is only physically asleep, but his consciousness is always awake. And he's a person with very high, as we call it, the Atma Sakshatkara. And then he's a man who has realized his soul, and his soul is always awake. And that really makes him respond to anybody who speaks. But wittingly, he says that I just catch a word from their speeches and then from out of my sleep, and I just build on that. In fact, it's not that, which I have personally seen when he was given doctorate in Shri University. Professor Shanta was the vice chancellor, who was his batchmate in Banaras Hindu University. When he was given doctorate, the governor of Abraham was there, Dr. Abraham was there, and then quite a number of luminaries were there. And Radhakrishna was snoring on the stage, which was audible all around in the hall, in the auditorium. But then when he was to speak, he answered every individual who had spoken about on the occasion and the thing. And he had mentioned every individual, what they've spoken, what he opines on the respective expressions as such. So that's the beauty of his personality as such. And then another major thing is, in fact, he always liked, as Rambabu said, the youth to be really, to the forefront to run through. And that's how, as rightly OP said, me and OP were given the responsibility of what Radhakrishna used to call it as human potential development, HPD. And we were responsible for that from Sevagram. We used to organize quite a number of training programs being based over there. And then whether I'm there or whether OP is there, we used to do this, and also train all the volunteers over there for the national conferences also. That was a wonderful experience of being with him. And I also had the wonderful occasion of being at his home with Kamalamma Garu and Radhakrishna for more than a month or two when I was a student, and also during my early career. And he kept me at his home and gave me everything. There was an occasion where he treated me as I required to be treated, as an individual, as a child, in fact. But greatness is when he is introducing me to somebody very, very high from people. He never introduced me as Gopi, something like that. He introduced me as a colleague. What is Radhakrishnaji's stature and what am I? To be called a colleague of Radhakrishnaji. And that is the greatness of an individual that he is. And I always owe whatever I have, whatever I'm doing today, it is because of Radhakrishnaji and Shivramurtiji. And they both have really given all the inspiration, and they have given me whatever I am today. And they are inspiring me even now. Even as Asharira, they are inspiring me from every moment, in every way. And they are leading us to really go further ahead and forge ahead. And we have a lot of things to read, and quite a number of people are there. And I would not take much of your time. I think we'll have occasion to discuss all our memories in detail for some other time. And over to you, OP, and to continue ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gopi Garu. Thank you. As rightly you have said, it was human potential development. And even today, when people call me for some program like human resource development and other things like that, I used to repeat those words what Naina said with us, that we are not resources, we are just potentials. And बहुत अच्छा आपने ये अपनी बात रखी. उसके बाद मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगा, अगर जुड़ गए हो तो नारायण भाई को, जो वेस्ट बंगाल से नारायण भाई अगर जुड़ गए हो. नारायण भाई, in the meantime, Gopi Garu, somebody is, it seems, sharing your screen. So it's appearing there.
No, I'm not.
Okay, नारायण भाई, अगर मेरी आवाज सुन रहे हो तो आप लगता है वो नहीं जुड़े हैं. आदित्य भाई भी शायद अभी नहीं जुड़े हुए हैं. आदित्य भाई आ गए हो? आदित्य भाई, okay, I will again take a call. Then I am requesting Dr. Prakash Tyagi. प्रकाश त्यागी सर से मेरा अनुरोध होगा कि वो अपनी बात रखें अगर आप जुड़े हुए हैं तो.
सबको नमस्कार. शोभना जी का और आप सभी का आभार कि मुझे इस सभा में आमंत्रित किया और अपने विचार रखने का मौका दिया. I'm grateful that I could join today's auspicious event in the memory of late Radhakrishna ji. I'm a little bit younger, so my memories are a little fresh in comparison to others, but still many fond memories of our very beloved, very respected Radhakrishna ji, as well as of his family, Shobhana ji and others who I have been interacting quite a lot in the recent past. If I remember correctly, my first meeting with Radhakrishna ji was when I must have been under 10 years of age, around 1980 or so. And that was with my late father and with my Baba, Prem Bhai, who was with the Banvasi Seva Ashram at that time. And the memory was wonderful because despite of me being a very small child, Radhakrishna ji was very attentive, very playful, was very comfortable with my way of doing things. He was happy to be a child with me. He was happy to listen to what I wanted to say. And then the meetings went on for at least 2 or 3 more occasions in the decade of 1980s. And I still have very vivid memories of that. The organization that I currently lead, which was founded by my parents, Lakshmi Chand Tyagi and Shashi Tyagi, by the name of Gravis, works on Gandhian ideology and practices rural development in one of the most difficult settings of our country. And this organization was inspired by a few prominent Gandhian leaders, and Radhakrishna ji was one of them. Prem Bhai was one of them. And since then, we have been practicing participatory development in which Radhakrishna ji's memories, his ideas, his ideologies have played a very prominent role in us reaching out to the most needed parts of the communities, to be more equitable, to be more justice-oriented, and to be more harmonious. Of late, because of my parents' involvement in the Gandhian fraternity, I got very closely connected to Shobhana ji and to her husband and to the rest of the Radhakrishna family. And we have been able to organize a number of Gandhian thoughts, meetings and disseminations in the state of Rajasthan where we are based, which was wonderful. It was great to see how Shobhana ji is carrying her father's legacy, the thoughts in which he believed. I would come to the end of my submission by narrating a couple of things that I, in the best of my memory, liked the most about Radhakrishna ji and his work and his life and his legacy. And those would also be 2 things which I believe are extremely relevant in today's context moving forward. One is we collectively, all of us present in this meeting together, Shobhana ji and I and the rest of the people, we just have to do something to make sure that this Gandhian ideology doesn't disappear. There is a great threat which we all are facing, that this ideology seems to be of too far in past, seems to be irrelevant, seems to be out of context, and we just need to ensure in the memory of Radhakrishna ji that we do ample amount of exercises, ample amount of thinking, brainstorming, so that we keep this idea alive. And Gandhian thought, I mean, there are many more experts than I in this group, so I won't go into that, just to keep the ideology alive. Number 2, Radhakrishna ji believed in bringing people together despite of their differences. And if there will be people of the same ideology working in the same group, then the progress will not be possible. The progress is only possible when people differ, when people have different standpoints, when people have different opinions and different views. And the way forward has to be cultivated in these differences. And the first entry point in working forward is to welcome those different opinions, is to find consensus, is to find harmony. And I say this because in the sector of social work, in this Gandhian fraternity, in this Gandhian ideology, we stand united and we also stand divided at the present moment. So in the memory of Radhakrishna ji, I would urge all of us to come together, to be co-travelers, to be contributors, and to make sure that this idea of social development continues forward. I'm also extremely excited that this centenary idea is moving forward in the memory of Radhakrishna ji. And if I, in personal capacity, or the people that I represent, the organization that I represent, Gravis, and the communities that we work with, if they will be able to contribute in some way in this wonderful idea, we would be extremely, extremely delighted. I once again thank Shobhana ji, the organizers, and everyone for listening to my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash ji. And as you very rightly said, कि उस समय जो हम लोगों के पास ये कुछ ज्योतिर्पुंज थे, ज्योतिर्लिंग थे, राधा कृष्ण जी, प्रेम भाई, कृष्णा स्वामी जी, अभी इस वक्त आ गया है, वो सारी चीजें हम में से ही तो लोगों को बनना होगा, उसके लिए कोई अलग से लोग नहीं आएंगे। और इस प्रथम चरण के लास्ट में, इन द फर्स्ट फेज ऑफ दिस प्रोग्राम, now I am requesting again Shobhana ji, if she can speak, or if Ruchira has joined and she wish to speak something. Shobhana ji.
जी धन्यवाद ओपी। और इसी पॉइंट पे मैं एक पहला अपना धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगी कलानंद भाई को, आपको, गोपी को और सभी भाइयों को जिन्होंने बहुत प्यार से और मेहनत से आज का ये कार्यक्रम रखा है, और सेंटिनरी का जो इवेंट हम करना चाहते हैं 2 साल का, उसके लिए आगे बढ़े हैं। मैं रवि जी का बहुत आभारी हूँ जिन्होंने ये पूरा जो जूम चला रहे हैं, होस्ट हैं, और उसके साथ ही साथ उन्होंने एक बहुत सुंदर पीछे की, और आप लोग तस्वीरें देख रहे होंगे, उसका प्रेजेंटेशन किया है। तो क्या जो भी बोलने वाले स्पीकर्स थे सब बोल चुके हैं आज के लिए?
सारे लोग बोल चुके हैं, जो नहीं हैं बस वही छूटे हैं।
जी तो ठीक है, फिर अगर नाम खत्म हो गए हो तो मैं ओपी आपका बहुत धन्यवाद देती हूँ कि आपने बहुत सुचारू रूप से इसको मॉडरेट किया। और आज का ये जो कार्यक्रम है, ये हमने शुरुआत की है सेंटिनरी के कार्यक्रमों की तरफ, और जो बाकी कार्यक्रम की भूमिका बनेगी, रूपरेखा बनेगी, उसके लिए अब हम लोग ये चाह रहे हैं कि आप लोग अपनी आइडियाज या ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग करें। रवि भाई और अभय कुमार ने एक वेबसाइट डिजाइन की है राधा कृष्ण जी के ऊपर, जो अगर आप को मैं अभी शेयर कर देती हूँ क्योंकि समय, और आप लोग लॉन्च करिए उसको। जी तो इसमें हमने बिल्कुल ही फ्रेमवर्क बनाया हुआ है, इसमें आप लोगों की इनपुट्स चाहिए, कंट्रीब्यूशन चाहिए, और जो एक्सक्यूज मी, पूरे 2 साल तक जो ये कार्यक्रम हमें चलाना है, तो हर 3 महीने पे कुछ ना कुछ इवेंट स्पॉन्सर करके या इवेंट को चला के हम इसको आगे बढ़ाएंगे। जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा था कि हम लोगों ने 2019 से ही शुरुआत की थी। एक किताब पिताजी के बारे में मैं लिख पाई, सबके, कलानंद भाई, रवि भाई और सारे जो अपने सहयोगी हैं उनके सहायता से, और एजीएस ने इसको पब्लिश किया था, गोपी ने, तो मैं उनका भी बहुत धन्यवाद करती हूँ। और अब जो है हमारी इसकी हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन IGNCA यानी कि इंदिरा गांधी नेशनल सेंटर फॉर द आर्ट्स कंप्लीट कर रहा है, जिसमें रमेश कुमार मेरे सहयोगी और मैंने भी बहुत, और कलानंद भाई ऑफ कोर्स ने बहुत योगदान दिया है। तो वो भी एक इवेंट में हम लोग लॉन्च करेंगे, और आप लोग इसको देख लीजिएगा। उसका जो हमने आपको भूमिका लिखी है, दिखाई है, उसमें आप लोगों की कंट्रीब्यूशन चाहिए। और एक विषय जो मैं सोच रही थी कि राधा कृष्ण जी से जुड़े हुए जो भी काम अभी के लिए सामयिक रूप से जरूरी है, या जो करने वाले हैं या कर सकते हैं, उसके ऊपर एक सम्मिलित कार्यक्रम बनाए, योजना बनाए और व्याख्यान सीरीज रखे, तो उनके नाम भी आपको सबको सुझाने होंगे, ऐसा मेरा अनुरोध है। इसी के साथ साथ हम आपसे ये अनुरोध करते हैं कि जिसके भी पास कोई भी मटेरियल हो या लेख हो या पत्र हो, तो वो भी शेयर करें, इसके ऊपर अपने भी विचार शेयर करें, ताकि इस वेबसाइट को हम एनरिच कर सकें। बहुत धन्यवाद आपका।
थैंक यू दी। मुझे लगता है कि टाइम हो गया है, हमारा ज्यादा ही हुआ है, और अगर विश्वजीत भाई जुड़े हों तो उनके प्रेयर से समाप्त होना था इस कार्यक्रम को। विश्वजीत।
ओपी भाई,
हाँ
ओपी,
हाँ,
ये फर्स्ट पार्ट कंप्लीट होगा। We are already 12 minutes late.
yeah.
The second part is moderated by Gopi Bhai
So
about the program for Centenary. So please keep in mind.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So this is the first part that we have already completed. And before taking leave as a moderator for the first session, I would like to just say a few lines, only 2 lines, what is coming in my mind. ऐसे तो मैं लगातार नैना के साथ करीब 8 साल रहा था, घर भी शेयर किया उनके साथ, चाहे वो गांधी पीस फाउंडेशन का हो या फिर वो नोएडा वाला हो। लेकिन एक यात्रा जो हमने उनके साथ की, जिसमें हम सेवा काम से नागपुर आ रहे थे, तो गाते नैना बहुत अच्छा थे, और वो गाना मुझे नहीं पता था कि वो एक मैसेज देके जा रहे हैं। उस दिन उनका गाना था सेवा ग्राम से चलते समय, जब हम गाड़ी पे थे उनके साथ, कि बदल जाए अगर माली, चमन होता नहीं खाली, बाहर फिर भी आएंगे, बाहर फिर भी आते हैं। मुझे लगता है कि उन्होंने वो मैसेज दिया था हम लोगों को, और उसी के साथ मैं अपनी भूमिका से यहाँ पे विदा लेता हूँ। आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग लीव एंड handing over the responsibility to Gopi Garu for the next session.
Thank you, P, and thank you for giving me the opportunity, Kalanand Bhai and Shobha Didi. And now we have approximately, I am not sure whether we have to conclude at 5 o'clock or 5:15, but if according to the total time schedule suggested, we need to finish off before 5 o'clock. Otherwise, if we spill over, it's already only we have 17 minutes available with us. So let us try and then brainstorm on the process as to what should be main content and how we should really go about of the centenary celebrations in 2024 with the Naina and as such. And this particular celebration, I think we have time only for 5 people to really respond back. I request people who would like to respond to raise their hand and or indicate, so that I can invite them to really talk on. And we have, each of you have about 2 to 3 minutes to talk on this issue. The area of concern is that how are we going to go about celebrating our Naina's centenary, Radhakrishnaji's centenary year in 2024. I request Shobhana Di to conclude.
Thank you, Gopi, but I thought I had just mentioned just before the conclusion of the first session that now it has started, the centenary celebration from 22 to 24. So in between these 2 years, we need to plan for programs. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Correct.
Let's brainstorm about it and come up with certain programs.
Yeah, culminating in 2024 and starting from this day onwards.
Yes.
So, friends, please come in who would like to really throw in their suggestions as to how we should go about this centenary celebrations of Puja Radhakrishna. Yeah. Please come in, sir.
Gopi,
Yeah. Aditya has just joined in. Rambabu, please come in. You want to say something?
See, my first thought that came to my mind now, maybe small brainstorm and even someday a physical meeting is also required. First of all, can we really muster at least those who are active in another meeting? That's first step, because some more ideas might come into that. That's one thing. Second thing, first thing that came to my mind was Radhakrishna's dream was prepare 100 youth or 100 institutions and 1,000 youth. In fact, I remember that because Sevagram, we had lots, all the workers, we are part of that movement at that point of time. Now, being practical, at least can these institutions, can some of us really focus on identifying a new generation youth, about 100 youth in the next 2 years. So at the end of that centenary celebrations, maybe we can present that trained 100 youth who have some vision and belief in Gandhian thought to work in the field of development. That is first idea that came to my mind. I'm just sharing. Maybe I will interact later. Somebody.
Thank you, Rambabu. आदित्य भाई, मैंने देखा कि आप भी आ चुके हैं। मैं अनुरोध करूंगा कि आप थोड़ा समय इसमें बिता के बता दीजिएगा कि आगे होते हुए आज से लेकर 2024 तक राधा पूज्य नायना का तो सेंटेनरी सेलिब्रेशंस है, इसको कैसे बताया जाए और कैसे किया जाए और क्या क्या किया जाए, ये आपकी ओर से बताना हम अनुरोध करते हैं। आदित्य भाई। आदित्य भाई, आप है ना?
Otherwise, move on, Gopi.
Yeah, I do not see him. Purushottam, would you like to come in?
Yeah, let others share.
Purushottam, I can see Purushottam also there.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, nice to have your voice.
Probably I'm the only one outside India at this point in time. So, namaskar, pranam to everyone there. And I'm very keen to watch how things progress so that I can chip in whichever way possible. So that's it from me at this point. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, okay. And Murali, I can see Murali there. Murali, would you like to chip in and suggest as to how we should really celebrate Nana's centenary?
Hello, thank you, Gopi. Namaskar to everyone. I was just thinking we should really come out with very innovative kind of ideas. Some kind of common action across the country, which will make everyone understand the valuable contribution made by Radhakrishna ji. All of us engaged in development work today is a sort of a very valuable contribution made by Radhakrishna ji. He has nurtured the ideas, thinking, and aspirations in all of us to make our best contributions for the societal development. So I think from that point of view, I didn't want to come up very quickly with some kind of ideas which may sound bit very kind of common kind of ideas. I thought we should really come out with some very innovative kind of ideas which will make the whole country and world to remember the valuable contribution made by Radhakrishna ji. As Rambabu was suggesting, probably we should keep thinking about what is the best way of celebrating and what kind of continuous action we should have for the next 2 years. And for that purpose, probably let's keep thinking, and then as Rambabu was suggesting, at least some of us who can make it to have a kind of face-to-face meeting would be very good, so that we can have a kind of very in-depth discussion on what kind of ideas would really work in the current situation. Otherwise, as Rambabu was saying, we can identify the youth who are interested to work for the societal development, and also take the responsibility. In fact, some of us are already doing this, nurturing the capacities and leadership of the youth so that they can dedicate themselves for the cause of the societal development. I think that is also something very interesting, or awarding people who have made outstanding contribution for the development of the society, particularly addressing the issues of the most marginalized and vulnerable communities. So these are some ideas which are flashing in my mind, but I don't want to be impulsive. I think I would further think about these ideas, and probably we can come together again either in a virtual meeting or face-to-face meeting, whichever is possible, and concretize our ideas so that we come up with the best ideas possible. Thank you, Gopi.
Murli, if you don't mind, whether we will have privilege to see you.
At
We
least
have not,
once.
we have not seen you for more than 2 decades.
Yes. Who was that speaking?
I'm Kalanand.
Kalanandji, namaskar.
Namaskar, namaskar. So more eager to see your gray hairs and this.
Yeah, but I have seen you in Delhi when we had that release of the book.
Okay.
I was present in that meeting.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. We met briefly, myself, Gopiji. We all came to that meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gopi, Prasad wants to come in to suggest something. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Prasad wants to come in to suggest something.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just inviting Prasad only. I can see Prasad raising his hand over here. And before Prasad comes in, thank you, Murali. Thank you, Murali. And then I can see very important points coming in your thing. And then, in fact, it's a thinking of all of us here that this is not going to be, this is only a beginning of the planning process. And we should have continuous some virtual as well as physical meets before we go on with a long-term celebrations of Nayana Centenary as such. And I request Prasad to come in, please.
Yes. May I speak, Gopi?
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Gopi. Thank you very much. And it is a very, very happy thing to listen to the voices we heard long back, like Murali, Purushottam Raj, and others. They're all very familiar voices. What happened to all these voices all these years? As you said, Kalanand was saying, yes, we are seeing Murali after almost 2 years.
Sorry, Prasad, we had a little time. Come on with your suggestions immediately.
Yeah. So what are these things will, personal expressions, emotions will be there. But I would suggest that we started with Sevagram. That is, Sevagram had been our base, where we had several meetings of indoctrination or the kind of input that we received from Radhakrishna ji. I would suggest a small group amongst us should take the responsibility to organize a physical program in Sevagram with about 100 of us, because all of us, I think we are around 60 to 70 years of age, and Radhakrishna ji is passing away in 94. It is almost like 30 years. So even those who are associated would be now around 60 to 70. So it would be a great opportunity to share our experiences and ideas, what we have learned. We have learned something from Radhakrishna ji, went into the field, had experiences, and what is it experiences to learn from each other. That itself would be a great kind of advantage, and that will give us a foundation or a base to plan what should be our action. Collectively, what is it we can do in the name of Nayana? So this is what I would request all of you to consider. Physical meeting is one thing, and even this online meeting we are doing, if we can do it either on a weekly basis or a fortnightly basis, we can exchange ideas. So kindly consider, Gopi, that is how perhaps we can get more inputs. Thank you.
Thank you, Prasad. And we
Gopi,
have
may I
an
have,
opportunity for just,
may I have 1 minute time?
yeah, please, Kalanand, please go ahead.
Yeah, two,
I'm
three
inviting you
suggestions
only.
very quickly. One,
Mm.
all of us, all of us should have a meeting at least once in fortnight or once in a week, where say like in each meeting we should take up one person, one organization to share their overall work, overall journey, and their future way of thinking in just 1.5 hour of session and interaction. So that will take almost a 1 year plus programs to cover up everyone where Naina was directly or indirectly involved. Number one. Number two, as Prasad said, and today morning you were also saying, I'm sure that you are going to suggest that we should have a 3 days well planned, well thought assembly in Sevagram. Number two. Number three, we should come out with a book, report to Radhakrishna ji, providing all relevant information about what we have done in his absence. Number four, Radhakrishna ji was always responding the local, the regional, the national and global problems. So we should form a team to respond whatever is emerging in our country as a part of tribute to Radhakrishna ji. Four, that website has already launched. We should try to make it that it's reach at large number of audience. So these are quick suggestions which I wanted to make. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kalanand. In fact, you're appropriate in every aspect of whatever. Anyone who would like to come in? This is the last opportunity for anyone to join in before. And before I request Shobhana Di to conclude this and have bhajan by Biswajit Bhai, if he's there, to conclude this. We have wonderful suggestions coming in from different sectors, different colleagues over here, and some of them, like mustering the active participants group to really making it day. And I think we should have this, and let us continue to head, as Kalanand also reiterated. Let us have this meeting every fortnight, discuss about each of the organizations that have been contributed and then working with in the spirit of Radhakrishna and spirit of Gandhiji as such. And a common action drawn at a national level is also a very important thing for us to really actively work. And the physical meeting is also very, very important, and we should plan it sometime in this year, sometime around August or July, late July or August as such. And I also harper on the idea of awards. Yes, we have to really looking into this way and method of work of Radhakrishnaji's advocacy as much, not only the field of advocacy, but various elements in the ecology, environment field, or development, grassroots development field, or whichever the sector it is. We should institute some awards to be distributed in the year 2024. And let us now start working. Let us frame a committee at a larger level to work on this and select people of a very high level to be awarded with this during our proposed national summit in Sevagram on the occasion of Centenary of Radhakrishna and in 2024. I also propose, in addition to this particular national summit, we must have a state level meets, because Radhakrishnaji's roots are there with us all in almost more than 15-20 states. And we have people working with Radhakrishnaji's inspiration in most of the states. Let us have state level meeting initially. That should be culminating into a national summit in 2024 possibly, or even earlier to that. And that's one important thing. And second thing is, one of the important themes that Radhakrishna has always cherished in talking about is the peace and disarmament, which was the topic that he had addressed even United Nations General Assembly also. We should plan an international meet we have people like Murali and Prasad and various others who have been involved in this various number of international committees and meetings, and they have the wherewithal to do this. And let's have an international summit on peace and disarmament on the occasion of centenary of Naina. So these are a few suggestions from my side. Okay, I've got, in the meanwhile, those few words, I thank everyone who have joined in here today, and I thank Kalanan Bhai, Shobhana Didi, and also Om Prakash and Ravi Bhai to have given me this opportunity to moderate this particular session. And I request Shobhana Didi to conclude this.
Thank you, Gopi, and thank you, Gopi. Thank you, Kalanan Bhai. You are the one who was supposed to propose the vote of thanks, but I wanted to include 2-3 suggestions of mine. One is a quarterly symposium or a seminar or a lecture series by inviting anyone to talk on one of the subjects of contemporary relevance and interest to Naina. That is one thing, so that it goes on over the next 2 years. Secondly is the release of the book in Hindi, which will be now completed, or region-wise programs. That is my third suggestion. And the fourth one is in the International Symposium on Nonviolence and Peace. Since I have done and I am doing a course on Gandhian philosophy in 109 countries, I have the cadre of people who are very much interested. So I will involve them also in that symposium. So these are 3 or 4 suggestions from mine. Once again, over to you, Kalanan Bhai, for the vote of thanks.
Aditya Bhai is there. Aditya Bhai, you are there. Aditya Bhai, you are there.
Aditya is there. Aditya Bhai is there. I am not. Yeah, I have requested number of times. I have requested.
I'm very much late because. Yeah, because
Aditya Bhai, हम अनुरोध कर रहे हैं आपसे.
It was heavily raining.
Okay.
मुझे खेद है कि मैं ठीक समय पर ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाया. हमारे यहाँ पर टावर काम नहीं कर रहा है. मैं छोटा सा टाउन पे आया हूँ आप लोग से मिलने के लिए. आप सब लोगों ने और हम सब लोगों ने नायना को फिर दे उनकी में याद किया और मैं अपना I extend my tribute and my to Naina and whatever.
Aditya Bhai, we are.
Kalanan suggested, Gopi suggested, let us inhabit. Maybe Savagram are posted in Savagram or Hyderabad or Delhi. So we'll have to continue this dialogue. Other opinions are made to be listening. मैं आप सबके साथ हूँ और हम लोग इसको बड़े पैमाने के
Thank you very much, Aditya Bhai. Now I request Vishwajit to conclude this important event by singing a prayer. Vishwajit Ghorai from Bengal. Vishwajit Bhai.
सुनाई देता है क्या?
हाँ, आप एकदम स्पष्ट हो.
आवाज आता है?
हाँ,
अच्छा.
बहुत स्पष्ट आवाज है. आप बोलो, आप गाना गाओ. आप प्रार्थना करो और प्रार्थना के समय हम सब अपनी आंखें बंद कर लें और ध्यान होकर प्रार्थना सुने. उनके प्रार्थना के साथ ही आज का कार्यक्रम समाप्त होगा.
आनंद लोके मंगला लोके বিরাজো সত্য সুন্দর মই মহিমা তব উদ্ভাসিত মহাগগন মাঝে, বিশ্ব জগত মণি ভূষণ বেষ্টিত চরণে, আনন্দ লোকে মঙ্গলালোকে বিরাজ সত্য সুন্দর। গ্রহ তারক চন্দ্র তপন ব্যাকুল দ্রুত বেগে, করিছে পান করিছে স্নান অক্ষয় কিরণে, আনন্দ লোকে মঙ্গলালোকে বিরাজ সত্য সুন্দর। ধরণী পর ধরে নির্ঝর মোহন মধু শোভা, ফুল পল্লব গীত গন্ধ সুন্দর বরণে, আনন্দ লোকে মঙ্গলালোকে বিরাজ সত্য সুন্দর। জগতে তব কি মহোৎসব বন্দন করে বিশ্ব, শ্রী সম্পদ ভূমাস্পদ নির্ভয় শরণে, আনন্দ লোকে মঙ্গলালোকে বিরাজ সত্য সুন্দর, সত্য সুন্দর।
धन्यवाद। सबों को एक बार पुनः स्वर्गीय राधाकृष्ण जी की जीवंत बिरादरी की ओर से सबों को धन्यवाद और आभार प्रकट करता हूं। और यहाँ से आज से 2 वर्ष तक शताब्दी के निमित्त हम लोग विविध कार्यक्रम करेंगे। और एक बार फिर राधाकृष्ण जी जो अपने जीवन काल में गांधी विचार के आलोक में हजारों लोगों को मोटिवेट किया था, प्रेरित किया था, हम सब मिलकर उस काम को मजबूत करेंगे, आगे बढ़ाएंगे। जिन साथियों ने सहभाग लिया उन सबको प्रणाम करता हूं। और ग्रुप में हम जल्द ही आज जो चर्चा हुई है उसकी समरी आप सबके सामने हम शेयर करेंगे। और अगले 15 दिन के बाद हम फिर मिलेंगे संगठनात्मक चर्चा सत्र के रूप में। सबों को धन्यवाद। शुभ संध्या।
एक बात मुझे कहनी है। भाई चंद्रहास ने अपनी ट्रिब्यूट भेजी थी, जो उसने कहा था पढ़ेंगे कलानंद भाई या मैं पढ़ेंगे। गला खराब होने की वजह से मैं पढ़ नहीं पाई, और भाई जी ने उसको ग्रुप में शेयर किया है, कृपया पढ़ लीजिएगा। नमस्कार और धन्यवाद।
जी, सभी को जय जगत प्रणाम।